Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, that was stupid of me. I apologize. Um, I know exactly why that happened, though. I'm so used to not really muting my microphone anyway. So, what happened is I just thought it was turned on, and I didn't think to look over and see that the volume levels were there. And I just kind of blundered. But hey, that was only like 15 minutes I lost. That's much better than doing it this for a full hour. So I take some happiness in that. Okay. So let me just go over some stuff that I know that you guys now didn't hear. Um, First of all, with everything that's going on, I'm going to start working again. I called up my job and I talked to the managers there at the local restaurant I work at. They are very, very excited to have me back. I'm honestly pretty excited to be returning there because for all the things that exist there, they've got a good group of people and I love the customers. So I'll be returning there on April Fool's Day. Ankle is still a little bit sore, but I'm getting more and more comfortable getting around. I think that probably what I'm going to do is going forward, if I'm out and about, I'm probably going to wear the brace. And then if I'm driving, like a car or so, brace goes off. And then whenever I get to my destination, I'll put the brace on and do what I need to do. Because the movement on my foot is comfortable when it's going up and down or so. It's a little uncomfortable if my weight shifts to the left or to the right. And that kind of makes sense because that was like where most of the breakage did occur, was in that general area, and my ankle pivoted more to the left and right than it did forwards and up and down, forwards, back. So there was that. But I'm excited to be returning to work. I've got some possible job prospects coming up down the pipeline that have me excited in terms of that, it can definitely progress my career in IT, and it, at the very least, is a good foot in the door to do certain projects and coming up. But all things considered, I'm pretty darn excited. It's been a long time since I've worked, and being kind of away from that, it makes you realize how important working as a whole is. So good. I'm excited for it. In terms of everything revolving around NR and leagues and so, not really much is going to change. For the time being, I'm just going to be working on the weekends at my job, probably most likely Sundays for the time being. If I don't really hear much of anything in terms of IT work in the next few months, I may increase my hours at my local restaurant and do that. And then beyond, so just kind of still looking for more IT work. But considering what I've heard and considering what I've seen, there's some good jobs out there. Even if it's not exactly what I want to do in terms of the area of IT work is IT work, and that still matters. So there's that. Let me show off some cars that I had recently painted. Not all of these are going to be inherently final run cars in NR, but this is stuff that I have some pride in terms of what I've done. So let's go ahead and look into the opponent manager, and let's look here. So I created this 22 car based off of the Kyle Petty machine, which is also based off of the Ryan Blaney car that Blaney drove at Darlington in 2017. This is by far my favorite scheme as a whole, so I've just been painting this up on various mods and having a good fun time about it. And it's really not that hard to paint when you really get down to it. It's just the angles and getting the right brush strokes there. But it turned out really well. And as a variation, I did slap Discount Tire on there because Ford Motorcraft really does not sponsor Busch Series operations, so discount tire definitely works. We go on to the second car. This is a Pennzoil scheme that I came up with. Now the next two cars are going to be it's the same base, but the roof is different. But I particularly like this. I think this is probably what we're going to run at Atlanta for the Turn Racing Series on Monday. Go on to the next series. We have a classic Penske truck rental. I do realize that there is a minor issue with this particular scheme. I can easily fix that in the next within about 5 minutes or so, and get that working right, because it doesn't have my name on the rear banner, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Easy to fix. Power Stroke Diesel, because I'm a big fan, was a big fan of Terry Cook back in the days of the Truck Series, and just kind of simple hood sponsorship change, just for the hell of it. Onto the SKF machine. This is one that I'm actually really excited about. This is a car that I could see running at like Michigan or Kansas or one of the big, or California, like one of the big 2-mile ovals. But in turn, this is the same base as the next car, which is the Worth red snap-on machine. Like I said, same base, but I think having the flip of having the blue with SKF as its traditional color with the paint scheme, and then slapping on red with Worth, it works actually pretty good. And it also takes inspiration from Blaney's 21 Cup car, just with a different shade of color on it. And then the last car that I want to talk about is this. So in the season opener, I did drive the 22 Brad Keselowski car. Pay attention to that real quick. The wheels are red. The spoiler is black. I think the edge of the splitter is white. I simply did a small color correction and did some minor changes, and we got my name on the back end. I replaced the America's tire with SKF, which I thought worked a little bit better, and swapped out the tires, the wheel rims, for white. I also changed the side skirts and the edge of the spoiler to red as well, to offer some difference between the two and make it a little bit more diverse. So, back to me. And let's talk about some other stuff that's going on. So one thing that I wanted to show off is, I know that I did a long series of really hero card memorabilia, really racing memorabilia too. But the thing is I've contacted so many different companies in terms of getting hero cards. From if you're looking for hero cards this season, go to Diecast Crazy, look on to their 2018 links to get hero cards. It's really, really good. They have two, where one you can do where it's non-SACE, which means SACE stands for self-addressed self-addressed sent envelope. So essentially you have to pay postage and everything like that for it. And then they have non-SACE ones where all you have to do is reach out to the company, and there you go. They'll get back to you within a reasonable amount of time. They'll send out a hero card. You may have to wait a little while, but you can get it. But one of the biggest packages that I got in terms of like just the sheer number of hero cards actually came from Pennzoil. So I'm going to show off some of the newer hero cards I got and talk about them a little bit. Pennzoil sent me a really interesting grouping, as they had sent me a Joey Logano hero card. I had wished and I had hoped that they would maybe send me something Blaney related, but they didn't, because I guess that they only sponsor Joey, which is okay. I have a certain amount of respect for Joey Logano. But in regards to Pennzoil they sent me a good amount of hero cards and something that I honestly didn't expect. So I want to show off the strange part of it, and that is I got about 9 to 10 hero cards from the NHRA drag racing series. Now, let me talk about this for a minute. I mean no disrespect to drag racing fans. It's just not my cup of tea. Drag racing is interesting in terms of the amount of horsepower that these cars have and the amount of danger that's associated with it too, in terms of it just kind of being a 300 mile per hour jet rocket strapped to your butt, and you gotta hope that the thing doesn't blow up. And we have certainly seen with John Force this year that has not, he's had a really, really rough go of it in terms of his engines not exploding. So with that being said, to get this grouping of hero cards is actually pretty interesting. So I'm going to show that off, and then we'll go to my other other card books, and I can show off some other stuff that I got too. Not all of these are like 2018. Some of these are older, but I certainly am happy about them nevertheless. So got a Ron Capps 2018 hero card. Ron Capps and John Force are like the only two NHRA drag racers that I know of. But I liked Ron Capps from his commercials, honestly. So, happy to have that. Jack Beckman, who I've never heard of before. I will say I do like his paint scheme. We got some bio info on this. And that's one thing I want to clap my hands with in terms of the NHRA series. They do a really good job in terms of the bio info, and I definitely appreciate that. Got a couple of hero cards here of the same driver, different schemes though. Matt Hagan, who I've heard of before, and I love that paint scheme of his. Kind of reminds me of the days of Sam Bass painting some of the paint schemes in NASCAR. Sam Bass has always just been good in terms of everything that he's done in terms of paint schemes. Another Matt Hagan hero card, but he's sponsored by Mopar, so Dodge and Chrysler, and so very nice. This is actually kind of nice and kind of sweet too. Gentleman by the name of Tommy Johnson Jr., who's sponsored by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I like that. I like guys that do stuff with charities and so. And I need to read this to make sure that I can pronounce this correctly. This is Antron Brown, who races, I think this is Funny Car. Oh no, Top Fuel, I believe. Pretty cool. I like that there's a bit of ethnic diversity in the NHRA series. This is something that NASCAR really hasn't seen a lot of, and as I really think about it, like in terms of IndyCar at least, IndyCar is very diverse in terms of the amount of people that come from all over the world to race in the series. But I don't think that I've ever really seen many African American drivers come into the sport, and it's kind of sad and a little strange too. But the fact that the NHRA has some diversity, pretty nice. That makes me honestly happy. Including diversity too. They have a decent amount of female racers in there. Obviously, we know of like Ashley, Brittany Force, but I've never heard of this person before. Leia Pritchett. I don't know how to pronounce it. Got one of her hero cars. She's very pretty, I must say. And then I am actually glad that they've got this going on. So they're using the same scheme for the most part. But I do like the Pennzoil colors that they got going on with her car too. So there's that. I've generally always liked the Pennzoil scheme, so. There we go. And then the last person to talk about, now this doesn't have any bio info on it, but 1 out of 9, 10 roughly. That's very, very acceptable in a package like that. Tony Schumacher, probably the most well-known and most successful Top Fuel drag racer in the country. So I got a decent package there from in the NHRA division of all places, from Pennzoil, and that was really cool and really interesting to see. So let me go ahead and put these back, and I'll talk to you guys some more. So yeah, I would do simple as it gets. If I wanted to, I would have done just like repeated videos of my hero card collection, or I would have just waited to do them. The IndyCar series though was long overdue, and I wanted to get that out of the way. And honestly, I figure at the very least, going through and just updating the video a tiny bit by just doing like 3 more videos that are only going to be like a few minutes long isn't really worth everyone's time to just see like maybe 1 or 2 new hero cards, and that's it. So I figure just kind of showing them off periodically when I've actually got something else going on, I'd say that's a good compromise. There we go. So yeah, that's everything there, at least in the IndyCar series book. The IndyCar series book, because there's a lot less stuff that I have for it, is just kind of like my all-around racing series book more than anything else. If it doesn't exist in NASCAR, it exists in there. And it just covers over a wider expanse of things. Now this is something I definitely want to show off, because I've gotten a decent amount of Busch series stuff to show you as well as the trucks, now that I think about it. So give me just a moment. So let's see here. I guess this is where I'm going to start. So I made some minor changes to some of this stuff, not like marked it up or so, but for certain things I've wanted to improve upon. So got a Elliott Sadler hero card in the mail a while back. This is by far, I don't mean to be rude, in terms of the design, a little bit bland. But the one thing that I did was I went ahead and took Elliott Sadler's bio page on NASCAR.com, printed it out, and then just slapped it in the back here. Because there's no real information about Sadler or his career or anything else like that. So I just slipped that in. I'm pretty sure I talked about this at one point, but got a Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon hero card from Bass Pro Shops. And then there we go. This was the very first hero card that I got while I've done this whole expedition, is the Daniel Hemrick hero card. I really do like this. I've grown to really like Daniel Hemrick in the last number of months since I got this. I think he's kind of a cool guy, and I just learned actually recently he can do backflips off of his race car just like Carl Edwards did. Now, the next series is Discount Tire. Discount Tire sent me a few things. Pennzoil, I also forgot to mention, sent me a big giant sticker. Probably about the size of both of my hands put together. And Discount Tire sent me a couple stickers as well. Much smaller, one black, one white, and I'm trying to figure out what to really do with these stickers. I'd put them on my car, but I don't think my dad would like that. And I don't really want to put them on my computer case either. I like the way that it is. But from Tire Discounters, got a 2017 Hero card. So we got Ryan, we got Keselowski, we got Joey, and then continuing from, they also sent me another one that was actually kind of nice. I particularly like this. So we got another Hero card, and it's got the bio info on the back. And according to this, I've been trying to figure this out for so long. Apparently Blaney was born in Hartford, Ohio. And that makes me happy because in the world of NASCAR, there are very, very few Ohioans. And in the world of racing, there aren't as many either. Ohio just really doesn't seem to get like super massive amounts of drivers from there. You generally get more people from North Carolina, California, or Indiana. And while those are all great states, without a doubt, not many people from Ohio. And probably the most successful would probably be Bobby Rahal or Sam Hornish up there near the top. I think Graham Rahal is also from Ohio, but he definitely, he still is working on his career. And he's a good racer, too. Signed Brendan Gaughan Hero card from, like, last season. Yeah, 2017. I do like that. I've grown to like Brendan Gaughan, too, because of this. Sometimes I think, like, you grow to like drivers even for the small things like this. It's just kind of interesting. So, in terms of, like, the Busch series, I'm a fan of Sadler. I've liked Sadler for many years already, but I've grown to like Daniel Hemrick, too. I bought a couple of Hero cards off of eBay as well, at really good pricing for the most part. Signed Bobby Hamilton Hero card. I was really more so looking for unsigned, but this was like the only one that they had. I feel a little dumb in just the price I paid for it, but I do like Bobby Hamilton. And I think to have something of Hamilton in arguably what was his best time in NASCAR, which was the Truck Series, it's fair. That's fair. So, let me flip through a few. Sprague. Oh, I forgot about that one. Got this in the mail recently. Johnny Benson Hero card from 2005. 2005 was like the big year I got interested in the trucks. So, JB, definitely a good guy to look out for. I do wonder what's happened to Johnny Benson since his NASCAR career has ended pretty much. I don't see him running in the Truck Series ever again, sadly enough. I'm friends with Todd Cleaver on Facebook, and I see that he's doing some stuff with like late models or so, like dirt late models. But I do wonder about many racers like Benson, Sprague. Unless it's said like obviously that they aren't doing racing anymore. It makes me wonder though. What are they up to? Steve Park, Hero card that I got. Park was definitely underrated. I think that if he had been injured less severely in some of his accidents, I think Park could have had a really solid Truck Series and NASCAR career as a whole. I don't know if he would have won championships or so, but I think he would have won more than 2 races. Now, what I'm about to show you here in a minute is kind of interesting. I want to show this off real quick. This is Matt Crafton in 2015, or not 2015, 2005. I'm sorry, 2005. I don't know why I said that weird. At the time, I don't know if it's going to have the info on the back, but at the time he had 97 starts, 0 wins, 6 top 5s, and 46 top 10s. Thor Sport back in 2005 with the Chevy Silverado. Very little sponsorship on that car. Now we're going to flash forward I'm going to show off a new crop of hero cards that I bought. First of all, I really like this. I'm a fan of Ben Rhodes. I actually drove Rhodes' truck, the 27 machine, in NASCAR Heat 2 career mode. And I don't know why and I don't know how, but I just became a fan of Ben Rhodes. And I do like him. I think he's a good racer. And I think he shows a lot of promise too. But Motorsports switched over from like a 1-car operation to a 4 or 5 truck operation. And they got young driver Ben Rhodes in their car. And he's from Louisville, Kentucky, which I've been to a couple of times. But then you go on to now, 2018, and boom, you got Crafton now as a winner, as a champion. So let me read the back of this. Matt Crafton climbed back into the championship hunt in 2017 with a bid in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series playoffs. The 2-time Truck Series champion navigated his way into the final round of the unique 3-round playoff format on the strength of 1 pole at Michigan, a win at Eldora, 321 laps led, 5 top 5s, and 16 top 10 finishes. The Tulare, California native also extended the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series record for consecutive starts to 407 since the series debut at Auto Club in November 2000, passing 4-time Truck Series champion Ron Hornaday with 360 starts in the 2015 Camping World Truck Series race at Homestead. Additionally, the ThorSport driver capped off his 17th full-time season in the trucks, 4th in the championship point standings. Here we go. Here's some information. Crafton began his racing career in go-karts, mini-sprints, and midgets before following his father, Danny Crafton, who had his own legacy in the West Coast, into late models. When Danny was injured in 3 races left in the 96 season, he selected his son as substitute. Crafton's performance in those races led Danny to hang up his helmet and step out of the familiar 46 to allow his son to take over. The young Crafton rewarded his family faith in 2000 by winning 4 races en route to a prestigious NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series championship. I never knew that. I didn't realize he was a champion in the Featherlight Series. Following Crafton's championship in the 2000 Featherlight Southwest Series, ThorSport named him the driver of the 88 truck in the 2000 season finale at Auto Club, beginning the series' longest-running driver-team relationship. Crafton became a fixture in the trucks, finishing inside the top 10 in standings the last 11 seasons. They drove his way to the NASCAR history books, becoming the first NASCAR truck champion who was back-to-back, winning in 2013 and 2014. Okay, here's where the big shakeup is. In 2018, the Menards driver enters his 18th full-time season in the trucks with ThorSport and his 14th consecutive season with the partner Menards. He has amassed now, by comparison to the earlier stats that I mentioned, 407 career starts, 14 wins, 13 poles, led 2,456 laps, and en route to 102 top 5s and 242 top 10 finishes. So let me go back, and I want to compare that real quick to some of those numbers. Starts in 2005. Starts 97, no wins, 6 top 5s, 46 top 10s. Now 14 wins, 12 top 5s, 242 top 10s, and 407 starts. That's a good and long career. Good on him. Next driver that I want to talk about, and next hero card I want to show off is, I'm not particularly I don't dislike the guy by any means. I just kind of picked him up because he actually has one of my younger brother's names as his first name, And I don't know, as a little bit of an older guy, he seems nice. I give him that. So, Grant Enfinger, he's only in his second season. But Grant Enfinger, I think he could really have a good career. I think with him being with ThorSport, he could definitely do better by comparison. But I like Grant Enfinger. He just seems like a nice guy. Another hero card that I actually got 2 of these, which was surprising as I got it in the mail. Will Rogers of ARCA. So, Will's actually the same age as I am. He's actually a little bit older than I am by a decent number of months. But yeah, I actually have heard about Will Rogers from some NASCAR communities I've been a part of, and even by extension in the NR community. And I don't know, Will just seems like a really nice guy, and I contacted Jefferson Pitts Motorsports and asked, hey, can you send me a hero card or so? And they said yeah, and they sent it out to me. Now, I did do this too. I did put his ARCA information on the back. It does say that he was born in '94 in Hawaii, and he's 23 years old. But I like to have that little bit extra information just for the heck of it. But Will Rogers, I think he's a cool guy. Like to meet him someday if he ever does like an autograph signing or anything like that in the tri-state area. But yeah. Also had a buddy who went out to a testing day at ARCA, and he said that Will was actually pretty nice. So, really cool to see that. Alright. Let me move on to the Cup Series at least. This one will be a little bit easier because I know where all the hero cards are, and so that I've recently picked up. I can show those off. Shouldn't be too difficult. There we go. Okay. This is going to be a little bit tough because I got to hold back all the big giant pages behind it. But I got Brad Keselowski hero card from Discount Tire. Cool stuff there. From Jimmy John's, I got a really nice Kevin Harvick hero card. This one was a little surprising because I almost could not fit it into the sheet protector. And thankfully, just a little bit of patience managed to get it in there, which is great. This I was worried about when I saw it, but I think this is actually kind of cool. From Kelly Blue Book, they did this style of a hero card. Now, I've actually got a Dale Earnhardt Jr. one, but it will not fit into a sheet protector this size. I actually had to stick it in a Ziploc baggie. Big Ziploc baggie. And I've actually got it up above my camera, and so. But I like this. I really, really do. It's got Chase's birthday and all that stuff on the back there. It's kind of interesting that they put his full biological name on the back there. William Clyde Chase Elliott II. But everyone just calls him Chase Elliott. Interesting, Kelly Blue Book. Interesting. Bought this with the intention and hope of having bio info on it. But I will say, at least it's very interesting. Ryan Blaney hero card with Peak antifreeze. And then this, I just stuck a sheet of paper in there for his bio info and went about that. This one, probably the... strange. Okay. Sorry. Give me a second. Pulled out an additional sheet protector, and it's just empty. This one is by far the smallest and kind of meh hero card that I've gotten, but it's okay. A very tiny Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hero card. Excuse me. Then, you remember when I was talking about Pennzoil earlier? Excuse me. They sent out this very nice Joey Logano hero card a while back. Very, very cool. Then I got, well, I'll just take the rest of them out, honestly. Then we got Ryan Newman with Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, the like. This one I thought was going to have bio info on it, but it doesn't, which is strange. This, though, is 2017. But I do in particular like these style of hero cards. This kind of reminds me of when Penske, Ganassi did their hero cards back in like 2007 or so. 2007, they had the same style in 2009. I like these smaller ones a little bit, and I like the design they got going for it. Just no driver bio, which, meh, that kind of stinks. And then last week's winner in Fontana, California, Martin Truex Jr. So that's all the new hero cards I've gotten. The ones that I'm still waiting on is probably this week. I did order 2 hero cards from eBay for a really good price. And they're Blake Cook and Ryan Truex hero cards from the Xfinity campaign when Cook drove the 11 car last season and Truex is now in the car this season. So there is that. And then I'm waiting on Worth. No. I think I am waiting on Worth. I'm also waiting on Spencer Boyd's team. Stuart Friesen's team. I messaged them. Waiting on Dale Wallace Jr. with Click and Close, I think it is their sponsor. There aren't many more that I'm actually waiting for. We're hitting kind of the home stretch more or less. There are more companies that are... I also got in contact with Paul Menard's team, so the Wood Brothers and Omnicraft. I contacted them. We're kind of hitting more or less the home stretch as we're getting closer and closer to it. I don't intend to have a full 2018 hero card book in terms of literally it's every single driver on the grid. But it contains more than what I've collected over the last couple of years. So there's that. That definitely matters. So yeah. I showed off the hero cards. Hope you guys enjoyed that. In terms of anything else that's going on with me, it's just getting ready for work, trying to get a viable sleep schedule going. I've had such an awful time sleeping these last few months and just not really being able to get to sleep. And it's definitely taken a toll on me. But this week is definitely some stuff that I'm going to have to change with that. And hopefully I'll be ready for work on Sunday. So, I know that you guys have seen them at least. I'll go ahead and grab them real quick. Other things I've gotten as of late. As you guys probably saw in one of my streams, my Ryan Blaney t-shirt that I got a while back. And then my Charlie Kimball Jasiba shirt that I got a while back too. So yeah. one thing that I'm also thinking of doing here pretty soon, and this is probably something I'll work on here kind of soon here when this stream is over, offline at least, is I am going to get some stuff ready, because I have done all of these online races and there have been some good races, and I'd very, very much like to do a broadcast style of it. It's just going to take some time to do so. So hopefully I have all the replays I need. I don't really need the finishing results too much, but I will need the replays, and hopefully I've got most, if not all of them. Fingers crossed. So, in terms of anything else I can think of to say, I did get F1 2012 for $5 on Steam. I also got F1 2015 for free on Humble Bundle. So this is kind of interesting. F1 2011 does not work on Steam. F1 2012 does. It's a little finicky. I've had to really adjust some stuff in there with the steering linearity, steering sensitivity, and so, but it's getting really close into how I want it to feel, and that's great. F1 2013's always run fine on my computer. F1 2015, like I said, it was a free game on Humble Bundle this past week. I like it. It's not a awesome game, but it's a good game at least. F1 2016, I like F1 2016, honestly. I can't remember if I got that on sale, like a big sale or what. And I know I got F1 2017 at full price. At the time I was working, so there's that. F1 2017 is probably where I'm going to stop though. As I see it, the games actually really haven't evolved too much. There are new features that are added in with each game, which is good. F1 2012 handles really different from F1 2017. F1 2013 is still probably my favorite in terms of the just sheer amount of different cars to race. F1 2016 does that similar, but I do like F1 2013 a little bit more. So, and then there was also a big thing that happened earlier in the week that apparently Grand Theft Auto was banning a whole bunch of people, which was very confusing to me. I didn't get banned, and apparently they have fixed this issue now, but they did uninstall the game for a day or so and waited until that issue was resolved, and now it is. So, good thing. Also, I want you guys to check this out. So, on YouTube, I want you to look up C-Dub, or Junior Wrestling Fan 88. I've got him on my subscriptions, but he's a really good friend of mine. He Coy races with me, but he did a video that I think you guys will enjoy. It was there we go. Blake's first GTA 5 NASCAR win. What got me back interested in GTA was actually they had recently done an update that allows you to purchase essentially a 1990s NASCAR stock car and paint it up and everything like that. And it's pretty cool. It's an interesting add-on to the game. It's something that was a little unexpected, but I do like it. I really, really do. So I got a Bobby Gerhardt-like thing going on with it. I'm happy about that. But it's funny. It's a really, really funny video, just especially with how excited I get. I will say this from the very bottom of my heart. Whenever I'm around the guys that I generally race with in NR, so, using their YouTube names, Shooting Mock 77, C-Dub, Willie GC, a lot of the guys that I race with on a weekly basis, and especially on Saturdays, I race with them all the time. Whenever I get to hang out with these guys, I've got a big smile on my face. Like, I love these guys so much. They're some of my best friends that I've got in terms of the online NASCAR community. Check out Swarm Runner as well. That's a buddy of mine named Alan's channel. He's got some good stuff, and he's a great guy to hang out with too. New World as well. New World, check out his stuff too. Brandon's got some good stuff on his channel as well. And I just love hanging out with these guys. They really put a smile on my face like every single day I get to interact with them. So it's awesome. It's really great having just friends online that you can really cut loose with and just laugh a whole bunch about with stuff. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy. So, and excuse me. Just in terms of like everything else, you know, we got Turn going on tomorrow. We're gonna run at Atlanta 2017. I'm not exactly thrilled beyond belief for that event. A big update was there was a wreck earlier in the event that I caused, and I later on, you know, agreed like that was my fault. I got a penalty, so instead of ending up second place in points, I'm going to be in 16th place in points, as I lost 15 positions in the point standings. I get to keep my second place finish at Daytona, so that definitely is a good feeling there, but it is going to be a very hard climb to get back up there. It's not gonna, I don't think it's going to be too difficult, because there are some tracks that I'm decent at or good at, and getting top 5s, if it's a bigger field, top 10s are worth it. If it's a small field, top 5s and top 3s are needed. I could definitely get myself back into the chase hunt. Really, I think I just need to gain 5 positions and I'm good. But each position in the upcoming weeks matters so much. So much. Then on Wednesday, we got ourselves the NSCIA event. I believe we're at Las Vegas, Nevada for that event. I've got a good car. And I've got a good mindset about it. I think I could do well there. We had a good run for the most part when we ran the Armra event in Las Vegas until a late race caution and bad restart kind of threw us off and threw us into a loop. But with that stated, we're in good contention there. We have a good shot at making it. We're one start short, which does hurt us a little bit, but I think in the upcoming weeks at like Lime Rock, which I'm not really too thrilled about, but the last few races before they go into their championship playoffs, you know, I think we could definitely do something. One thing I wanted to show off real quick is actually something pretty cool. So I am going to enter full screen with that. There we go. So I want to show you this. This is what I want to show you. This is the Armra Championship format right now. So if you guys were watching yesterday's event, we actually blew our engine in a 20 lap race in about 9 laps. But the good news is we're good in points. We're just above the threshold by a decent amount that we can make it in. And there's only one race left before the playoffs start, and that's at Phoenix. That puts me in a really good mindset because with how this is, I really want Coy to get in. I want Goss to get in. Joey, unfortunately, is going to have something else going on that's going to take up his time. So I don't know if he's going to be able to race anymore on races often, but in terms of everything, we're locked in by 24 points. We're a decent amount away from the lead, but we're locked in, which is good. We're locked in, and that's wonderful. So, with Watkins Glen unfortunately being kind of a bust, the bad news is we could have grown our points lead, and we could have slotted ourselves in 7th at best, and we definitely could have had a good race. I think we had top 5 potential there. But the good news is we're at least firmly inserted into the chase, and we don't have to push as hard as we would if we were sitting like 12th, 13th, 14th even. We're still going to have to push. That's the thing that sucks, is we're still going to have to be right on top of our game. But the good news is it's not going to be as crucial or as difficult to do so. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for what's going on up ahead. Another thing that I wanted to show off was this. So I started doing some painting work last night, and I was actually going to open up NR for this, but I forgot that I posted this picture. This is a car that I'm going to run, I think, race number 3 of the playoffs, because it's a 5-race playoff system. This is going to be a very special paint scheme, and it took me a while to make, but I'm a big, big fan of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And despite how goofy this design looks, I kind of like it. I've always kind of liked the sides of the car with the two-tone. I think that's kind of comes from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s paint scheme somewhat, but it's layered brick there, which is actually kind of cool. I took a strip of racetrack that I found on Google and then just simply found, oh, that kind of looks like a wall, and I just slapped that on the hood, lined it up, and the rest of the base scheme is kind of like this dimmer cream color, but it looks really good. I also slapped the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tire from the logo right on the sides as well. And then, even though I just wanted to have the checkered flag there, the array of flags in the back, it's there. And this in 2018 is the 25th anniversary of the Brickyard 400. And considering that the Brickyard 400 was the very first NASCAR Cup race I ever went to, that track has a massive, massive sentimental value to me. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to run that car. I hope I can win in it. That's the biggest thing. I really, really want to win. If I could win in that paint scheme, it'd be interesting. But I really, really would like to win at Indianapolis. If I can't win, if I can never be a Daytona winner, if I can never win the season opener in any league at Daytona, then you know what? I'll settle for Indianapolis, and I'll be excited with that. Beyond that, the race after Indianapolis, or the race before Indianapolis, is the Kentucky Speedway. And that's my home track in terms of all things racing related. I went to Kentucky Speedway back in about 2002, roughly. 2002, 2003. That's where I got a good chunk of my IndyCar stuff from. That's where I saw many, many races. That's where I got those, like that Matt Crafton hero card from 2005 to the Kentucky Speedway, and especially 2003 to 2005 are like the best years I ever had going to that track. And I love it so much. Strangely enough, I can never seem to win there either in NASCAR Heat 2, but in regards to at least Kentucky in NR, there really haven't been many versions of that track that have actually worked out great. So I'm putting myself at risk and I'm putting myself at chance by wishing to win there. but it is possible. We've actually had a decent run at the 1.5-mile tracks for AMRA, and I'm very, very excited for the opportunity to go and race at some of the tracks that I hold very near and dear to my heart. Oh yeah, and NNSCIA is also racing at the Springfield Mile in a few weeks, and I think they've got like 7 weeks. Yeah, they've got 7 weeks until their championship starts, their playoffs start, and that's going to be a really hard proposition. But if we can get rolling, especially at Vegas, and continue working our way through the season, we could probably get ourselves into the chase just by enough that we'll be able to run for a championship. And really, when it comes to all these leagues and so, especially IORL, they don't have a chase format, so that's going to be a harder run for it. The way that I see it is if I'm not in contention to win a championship, and really I can't, if there's no playoff system or so, my main focus is then win races. If I can win a race, I'll be happy. Don't care where, unless the track holds a little bit of sentimental value to me or so, or if it's really, really a big prestigious event, winning anywhere would make me happy. Because I've never won an IORL race. I've attempted so many times, I think 3 times at Indianapolis, and I've only managed to race there like 1 time, and I've never won it. I blew my engine on my opening out lap in the IRL IndyCar series back last season, and I hope to redeem myself there this year. But in terms of the way that my goals are, in terms of everything revolving around leagues with playoffs and so, getting to the chase is the first and foremost goal that I have, because that filters me out from either the people who just aren't great racers or the people who weren't consistent enough or didn't make every start or a vast majority of the starts to get themselves in there. And to be within that group of people, that's an honor in and of itself. That shows that I can be more consistent. So, what else to talk about? I guess I can talk a little bit about video games as a whole. Some of the games that I know that are coming out soon, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, I'm excited about. Can't wait to get my hands on that. I don't see Smash for the Switch coming out until about November of this year. At the latest, maybe October. I could see it possibly coming out in October. October and November. But Hyrule Warriors I'm excited about. Smash I'm excited about. I am still waiting on, by the seat of my pants, to hear official word of whether a Spyro Remaster collection is coming out. And I think I'll probably pick up Crash the Insane Trilogy. Whether I'll get it on Switch or PC, I don't know yet. I think that maybe, if anything, I may go ahead and get it on the Switch. The Switch just seems, even though I don't really take it around too often, if the power goes out in the house, I can just grab my Switch and it's got an internal battery at least, so I can play that for a few hours. I've had that happen before as the power went out. Couldn't use my TV, but pop my Switch up and there you go. I could play that for a few hours and get through it. So, and that's really about it. I don't really have much else to say or much else to do, really. Just with everything, I guess the biggest thing that I can ask you guys, if you have any comments in terms of how the channel can be improved, I would love to hear it. I like to know, and I like to always improve, and I like to do better. But yeah, with everything, I've just had a good day today for the most part, minus being sleepy and minus being a little bit sleep deprived over the last while, but I'm doing okay, and I'm happy about that. So wherever you guys are, whatever you're doing, just have a great day and have a great week. Love each other. Treat everyone with kindness and respect as best you can. And stay healthy, my friends. So I'll see you guys again very soon. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.